Welcome back to Chat English, where we teach you the English you actually use in real conversations. Today, we are looking at the 4 scariest words you can ever receive in a text message. You are sitting on your couch, your phone buzzes, and you see this message. We need to talk. Your heart drops to your stomach. You immediately think, did I do something wrong? Am I getting fired? Are they mad at me?
Oh my gosh, I literally got this exact text yesterday from my boss and I started sweating. But it turns out she just wanted to ask me what kind of pizza we should order for lunch.
Exactly. Today, we're sharing our funniest texting misunderstandings and giving you the exact rules to read the true tone of any English message, so you never have to panic again.
I am so glad we are talking about this today, Jessica. Texting in a second language or even in your first language is incredibly stressful. You cannot hear the person's voice, so your brain just invents the tone.
It is so true. We completely invent the emotion. And usually, because human beings naturally worry, we invent a negative emotion. We always assume the other person is angry.
We do, and I have the perfect story about this. This happened to me last month, and it ruined my entire week. I was working on a massive marketing project for my new manager, Mr. Peterson.
Oh, I remember Mr. Peterson. He is very serious. He always wears a perfect suit to the office.
Exactly, very formal, very serious. Well, I spent 3 weeks writing this marketing report. It was 50 pages long. I poured my heart into it. Finally, on a Wednesday evening, I sent him a very long, enthusiastic text message. I wrote, "Hi, Mr. Peterson. The report is completely finished. I added 3 new sections that I think you will absolutely love. Let me know your thoughts."
That sounds like a wonderful text. It shows you are excited and proud of your work. What did he say?
Well, I watched my phone. I saw the 3 little dots appear, which means he was typing. My heart was beating fast. I waited, and then his reply came through. It was one word, fine, with a period at the end.
Oh no, a period. The aggressive period. That is absolutely brutal. I feel stressed just listening to that.
It was terrible, just fine with a period. No exclamation mark, no great job, no emoji, just the word fine and that heavy, dark dot at the end. I immediately panicked.
What went through your head?
I thought I was getting fired. I thought he hated the report. I thought fine means this is terrible, but I do not want to talk about it right now. I did not sleep at all that night. I just stared at the ceiling, thinking about how I needed to find a new job.
Poor Dave. That is so awful. You just wanted to finish the report, and instead you got a panic attack. But wait, we call that punctuation mark a period in American English, right?
Yes, in American English, we call that little dot at the end of a sentence a period. In British English, they call it a full stop. So he gave me a very aggressive full stop.
And what happens the next day? Did you get fired?
No, I walked into the office the next morning feeling sick. Mr. Peterson walked up to my desk, smiled a huge smile, handed me a coffee, and said, "Dave, that report was brilliant. Best work I've seen all year."
Wow, that is fantastic news. But wait, why did he text fine if he loved it?
I learned a very important lesson that day. Different generations text very differently. Mr. Peterson is in his 60s. To him, a period is just correct grammar. He finishes a thought, he puts a period. He doesn't know that to younger people, a period in a short text looks angry.
That is such a good point. We always try to read between the lines when there's nothing there.
Read between the lines. That's a great phrase for our listeners. What does it mean to read between the lines?
To read between the lines means trying to find a hidden meaning in something. Like when you read a book and you don't just look at the words, you look at the empty space between the lines to guess what the author is secretly thinking.
Yes, and with text messages, we always try to read between the lines. We think he used a period, so secretly he hates me. But the truth is, sometimes a period is just a period. People are busy, they type fast. Never read tone into a period.
I completely agree. A period is just grammar. We need to stop overanalyzing it. Let's do a quick quiz for our listeners right now to practice this. I'm going to read 3 different ways to sign off an email. You tell me which one sounds the most friendly and polite.
I love this idea. Listeners, pay attention. What is the best reply? A, B, or C? Tell me out loud when Jessica finishes.
Option A, do this now. Option B, could you please look at this when you have time? Option C, do this now, in all capital letters. I'll wait 3 seconds.
The answer is definitely option B. Could you please look at this when you have time? It is soft, it is respectful, and it does not use aggressive punctuation or capital letters. Capital letters in English texting means you are shouting.
Exactly. Do not shout at your colleagues. Now, Dave, your story about Mr. Peterson was all about missing the tone because it was too formal. But my family has the exact opposite problem. We have a family group chat, and it is a disaster of miscommunication.
Oh, family group chats. Those are always chaotic. There are too many people talking at once. What happened in yours?
Well, my parents, my siblings, and my uncles are all in this one big chat. Last week, my mother was trying to plan our summer family vacation. She wanted everyone to agree on a destination.
Planning a trip for a whole family sounds impossible. Everyone wants to do something different.
It is impossible. My mother suggested going to a nice beach resort, but then my father, who loves nature, suggested we go camping in the mountains.
Camping is nice, but maybe not for a big family vacation.
Right, and my father wanted to go to a place where it rains a lot. He said the rain makes the forest beautiful. Then my Uncle Bob replied in the group chat. He wrote, "Oh, brilliant idea. Let's all sleep in the mud and get eaten by mosquitoes. I cannot wait."
Oh my goodness, Uncle Bob is very funny. That is classic sarcasm.
It was sarcasm, but not everyone understood that. Half the family thought he was completely serious. My aunt replied, "Okay, Bob, I will buy extra bug spray for you." She started packing her bags for the mud.
Oh no, she did not understand the joke at all. For our listeners who might not know, could you explain what sarcasm is? It is very common in English, especially British and American English.
Yes, sarcasm is when you say the exact opposite of what you actually mean, and you do it to be funny or sometimes a little bit rude. Like if it's raining and storming outside, and I look out the window and say, "Wow, what a beautiful day." I do not really think it's beautiful. I'm being sarcastic.
That is a perfect explanation. But sarcasm is so dangerous in text messages because you cannot hear the person's voice. When you speak sarcasm, your voice usually changes. It sounds flat. But in a text, the words brilliant idea just look like a compliment.
Exactly. My aunt thought Uncle Bob was giving a compliment, so I had to call her and explain that Uncle Bob was actually making fun of the camping idea. It caused a huge argument in the group chat.
That is so embarrassing for everyone. How can we fix this? How do native speakers show sarcasm in a text message so people don't get confused?
We use emojis. Emojis are how we replace our facial expressions. To show sarcasm, the most popular emoji right now is the upside down smiley face.
The upside down smiley face. Yes, I use that one all the time. It basically means I'm smiling, but everything is terrible, or I'm completely joking.
Exactly. If my Uncle Bob had put the upside down smiley face at the end of his text, everyone would have known it was a joke. Emojis change the entire meaning of a sentence.
They really do. And you have to be careful with other emojis too, like the thumbs up emoji. For older people, a thumbs up just means, okay, I agree. But for younger people, a thumbs up can feel very cold. It can feel like you are ending the conversation abruptly.
Yes, if my friend sends me a picture of my new haircut and she just replies with a thumbs up emoji, I will be so sad. I will think she hates my hair.
It is a whole new language we have to learn. And knowing these small cultural rules is what really helps you connect with native speakers and sound natural. By the way, if you're enjoying learning these real-world communication secrets with us, please take 1 second to click the subscribe button. It helps us make more free episodes for you every single week.
Yes, please do. We love having you in our Chat English community. Now, speaking of communication secrets, Dave, you mentioned another story earlier about our mutual friend Mark. This one is about dating, right?
Yes, poor Mark. This is a story about the vague text. A vague text is a message that is not clear, and it leaves you guessing. Mark went on a first date a few weeks ago, and he really liked the girl. They went to an amazing Italian restaurant, they had gelato, they talked for hours.
That sounds like a perfect first date. I'm sure he was very excited.
He was thrilled, so he went home and he decided to follow the modern dating rules. He waited an hour and then he sent him a very sweet text. He wrote, "I had a wonderful time tonight. I would really love to see you again soon."
That is a great text. It's honest, it's polite, and it shows clear interest. What did she reply?
She replied 30 minutes later. Her message just said, "Sounds good." That's it. 2 words. No emoji, no exclamation mark, just sounds good.
Oh, wow, just sounds good? That's so painful. That's the definition of a vague text.
Exactly. Mark was destroying his brain trying to understand it. He started overthinking every single detail of the date. He called me in a panic. He asked, "Did I talk too much? Did I eat my pasta weirdly? Why did she just say, 'sounds good'?"
Poor Mark. It is so easy to overthink when you really like someone. Let's pause for a second. Dave, what exactly does it mean to overthink?
To overthink means to think about something too much for too long until it makes you anxious and crazy. You analyze every small detail until you invent problems that do not even exist.
That is a great definition. We all overthink sometimes. So, what did Mark do? Did he send a double text?
He almost did. A double text is when you send a second message before the person has replied to your first one. It can sometimes look a little desperate, but instead of double texting a new topic, he decided to be brave. He used a fantastic phrase to get clarification.
What did he say?
He replied and said, "Just making sure we are on the same page. Did you actually have a good time, or are you just being polite?"
Oh, I absolutely love that phrase. On the same page.
It is a great one, isn't it? Let's explain it to our listeners.
If two people are on the same page, it means they understand each other completely. They agree on the situation. Imagine two people reading the same book. If they're on the same page, they're looking at the exact same words. So Mark wanted to know if they both felt the same way about the date.
Exactly. And her response was amazing. She immediately called him on the phone. She was laughing. She said, "Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I was walking my dog and it was raining, so I just typed the fastest reply possible with one hand. Yes, I had an amazing time, and I am very excited to see you again."
Wow, what a relief. A beautiful resolution. She wasn't angry or bored. She was just busy walking her dog in the rain.
Exactly. And this brings us to a huge lesson about reading texts in English. You are the one who controls the tone in your head. The voice reading the text inside your mind is yours, not theirs. Let's do a little pronunciation and tone exercise right now to prove this.
I love this. What do we do?
Listeners, I want you to look at the phrase "sounds good." First, I want you to say it out loud in an angry, frustrated voice. Go ahead.
Sounds good. Like you're annoyed.
Yes. Now I want you to say the exact same words, "sounds good," but say it in a happy, excited voice. Go ahead.
Sounds good. Like you're smiling.
Now say it in a completely bored, tired voice.
Sounds good. Like you're falling asleep.
You see it? The text on the screen does not change. The words are the same, but the tone changes entirely based on how you read it. So, our wisdom for today is always assume the best. Assume the person is smiling when they type. Assume they are busy, not angry.
That is a wonderful rule for life, not just for learning English. Assume positive intent. It saves you so much stress and anxiety.
It really does. So, we've talked about how to read other people's texts. But Jessica, I know you had a problem this morning with writing your own text. You were worried about sounding too harsh.
Yes, this is the other side of the problem. When we learn English from textbooks, we learn very direct grammar: subject, verb, object. I want water. Give me the book. But in real life, speaking like that makes you sound demanding. It makes you sound like a robot, or worse, a bossy person.
It's true. Direct translation often removes all the politeness. What happened this morning?
Well, I'm working on a big data project with my colleague, Sarah. I realized I wasn't going to finish my part by today's deadline. I needed to ask her for more time. So I typed out a message: I need more time. Give me until Friday.
Oh no, Jessica, that sounds so aggressive. If I received that text, I would feel like you were giving me an order in the military.
I know. I looked at the words on my screen and I felt terrible. I did not want to send it. I thought, this is too harsh. I need a softer way to ask for a favor, so I deleted it. I realized I needed to use the softener formula.
The softener formula. I love the sound of that. Tell us how it works, because this is something every English learner needs to know to survive in an office or with friends.
The softener formula uses special helper words to make a request polite. Instead of demanding something, you ask for permission to have something. You make it a question and you use words like would, could, or might. So instead of saying, give me until Friday, I changed my text to, would it be possible to get an extension until Friday?
Would it be possible to get an extension? That is beautiful. It's like music compared to the first text. It's so respectful.
Thank you. Sarah replied immediately and said, of course, no problem at all. The interaction was completely positive because I softened the request.
This is such a powerful tool. Let's practice this together, Jessica. Let's play a game for our listeners. I am going to give you a harsh, direct sentence, and I want you to use the softener formula to make it polite.
Okay, I am ready. Give me your worst, most demanding sentences.
All right, scenario 1. You are in a cafe. You want a coffee. The harsh sentence is, I want a coffee. Make it soft.
Okay, instead of I want a coffee, I would say, could I possibly get a coffee, please?
Excellent. Adding could and possibly makes it gentle. Scenario 2. You are looking at a design your colleague made and you hate it. The harsh sentence is, I do not like this design. Change it.
Ooh, that is very rude. Okay, let's soften it. I would say, would we be able to look at some other design options?
Brilliant. You used would and you changed change it to look at other options. It is so diplomatic. Okay, last scenario. You need your friend to help you move a heavy sofa. The harsh sentence is, help me move this sofa.
For a friend, I would use mind. I would say, would you mind helping me move this sofa?
Perfect. Would you mind? That is the ultimate polite request in English. When you ask, would you mind, you are basically asking, will this cause you trouble? It gives the other person the power. It gives them the freedom to say no. And psychologically, when you give someone the freedom to say no, they usually want to say yes.
That is a fascinating point, Dave. Politeness is not just about using fancy words. Politeness is about showing respect for the other person's time and their choices. It makes relationships stronger.
It absolutely does. And these small changes, using would, could, and might, make you sound incredibly fluent. It's the difference between sounding like a beginner translating from a dictionary and a natural speaker navigating the culture.
Well, Dave, we have talked about so many important things today. I feel like we have solved the mysteries of modern texting.
We really did. We covered a lot of ground. Let's summarize the important lessons for our listeners so they can remember them for their next conversation. First, we talked about the aggressive period with my boss, Mr. Peterson.
Yes, and the lesson there is to do not read tone into punctuation. A period is just a period. Assume the person is busy, not angry. Second, we talked about my Uncle Bob and his brilliant camping idea.
The lesson there is to watch out for sarcasm. If something sounds strange, it might be a joke. And remember to use emojis like the upside-down smiley face to help show your true emotions.
Third, we talked about Mark's vague dating text and how easy it is to overthink sounds good. The lesson is to ask for clarification using great phrases like just making sure we're on the same page.
And finally, we talked about softening your own harsh texts when asking for favors or extensions.
Exactly. And notice, listeners, to soften our texts, we used a specific type of grammar today. We call them modal verbs, words like would, could, and might. These are your best friends for sounding polite and respectful in English.
They are the magic words. Well, that's all the time we have for today's episode of Chat English. Thank you so much for listening and practicing with us. We hope you had fun, laughed at our mistakes, and learned some new words to use this week.
We really appreciate you spending your time with us. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. It truly helps us grow. And share this video with your friends who are also learning English. We want everyone to learn the real way people chat with us.
Now, we have a question for you to answer in the comments below. Have you ever misunderstood a text message in English? Tell us your funny story. Or, if you prefer, tell us what your most used emoji is. And here's your challenge. Try to use a modal verb like would or could somewhere in your reply.
We love reading your stories. Writing in the comments is a safe, fantastic way to practice your English, and we promise we will read every single comment.
Thank you again, everyone, for being part of our community. See you in the next episode.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye for now.